At that time, no one in the world remembered what justice was. Cities became hotbeds of evil, temples burned, and prophets cried out. I stood in the chaos, feeling in my heart that some kind of end was approaching. That night, my father looked up at the sky. In the thunder, he heard the voice of God. We knelt beside him and said nothing, because we all understand that's God's command, and that's our mission. When the divine blueprint is revealed in the air, what emerges on the board is not just drawings. That is the trajectory of redemption, but also the score of fate. For the first time, I realized that we were not just building ships, but the future. My brothers and I wielded our axes and saws. Every time he knocked, it felt like he was talking to destiny. We don't know if we can do it, but in the light of God, we have no choice but to step back. When the last wooden beam fell, the divine light broke through the clouds. At that moment, I felt that time stood still. It was like the entire world was praying silently for this ship. And here they come. In pairs, from all directions, regardless of evil or good, they are all guided by God. I never imagined that the eve of the apocalypse could be so peaceful and solemn. Before the door closes, I look back at the world one last time. It used to be our home, but it has also become God's pain. The soft voice of the rain fell, but it announced the arrival of the end. The flood tore the earth apart, and the waves were like wrath. Our ark was lifted off the ground, and the world collapsed. This is not just the destruction of nature, but also a divine judgment. Floating in the boundless sea of rage, in the thunder and lightning, the ark was like a speck of dust. But in my fear, I also felt a sense of protection. Like the hand of God, it has never released us. There was a heartbreaking silence above the water. Wreckage, corpses, and reflections float. My heart is as heavy as the ocean. But I also know that this price cannot be avoided. Suddenly one day, the rain stopped and the wind became quiet. The sun shone through the clouds and into our cabin for the first time. The light was warm and strange, as if God were whispering, "You made it through." I released a crow. It flew into the distance, never to return. I don't know if it brings back news or silence, but my heart began to look forward to that new land. Then the dove came back with an olive leaf in its mouth. I saw tears welling up in my mother's eyes. At that moment, I realized that life had really come back. The ark finally came to a stop, resting on the mountain that God had promised. Mist billowed through the valleys, and sunlight fell from the sky. I'm on my knees. My hands are on the ground. This is where life is born. The moment we stepped out of the ark and put our feet on the dirt, the earth seemed to be waking up. Flowers were blooming, the wind was blowing, birds were singing. That is not the end, but the beginning. Now I stand on the earth with my family behind me and the future in front of me. Above the sky, the rainbow hangs high. It is the covenant of God. And I, Japheth, have sworn in my heart. May we rebuild this earth purified by the flood with faith and love.